before you ask it. How much of Boston is landfill? Well, downtown Boston right now, 70%. It's truly amazing. 70% of downtown Boston used to be water. That's what they did. They needed space. They just fell in the water. One good thing about this, think about it. Because this was a planned neighborhood, what have you noticed for the last 6-8 blocks? The street that is nice and straight and the cross streets that are perpendicular. And all these cross streets run in alphabetical order. This is Hereford. It starts at Arlington, Berkeley, Clarendon, Dartmouth, Exeter, Fairfield, Gloucester, Hereford. Yeah. I know somebody thinking, why did I know that earlier? Save you from getting lost. Lots of great buildings here in the Back Bay, but my favorite one is an old church. Got destroyed by a fire in 1978. They redeveloped it, but the congregation couldn't afford it, so they sold the property. Developers came in, they kept the facade, look to your right behind the trees. They kept the facade and built a whole new building behind it. It's called Church Court Condominiums. It's the luxury condos here. See the steeple all shrouded in right there? That's one condo. Inside the steeple is one apartment. 7 rooms, one on top of the other. Yep, each floor is a room, each room is a floor. It is a vertical condominium. No elevator. You go walk up and down. Some very healthy people living in there. We're still in the Back Bay neighborhood. Winston Churchill visited Boston many years back. He called it, this particular street, the most beautiful street in America. If you look to your left, look down Commonwealth Avenue, Comm Ave as we know it, you'll see townhouses on both sides. Right down the middle is this beautiful park called Commonwealth Mall, and that's why Winston Churchill thought this was the most beautiful street in America. If you want to visit Fenway Park, folks, it's very close from our next stop. It's about a 10-minute walk, about a half mile away. If you've never been to Fenway, this is what it used to sound like 8 years ago.
0-1 delivery to Fisk. He swings, long drive, left field. If it stays there, it's gone. Home run! The Red Sox win!
I love that soundbite. The Red Sox, they have clinched the American League. Yep, the division. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. I was like, what is that word? Division. Every time they have one of those champion things, the celebrations in the locker room, they're spraying the champagne on, I think, what a waste.
Right.
It's like, somebody paid good money for that champagne and they're just wasting it. So Fenway Park is just down to our right. When we cross over this street, you'll see down to your right the big green wall, the light towers. That's Fenway Park. Excuse me, they do give guided tours at Fenway Park all day. If you want to do it, just go to the gift shop across the street from the front door and you can get a guided tour of Fenway Park. One of the best kept secrets in the city is a little restaurant at Fenway Park. Nothing fancy, but good food and a great vibe. It's called the Bleacher Bar. Underneath the bleachers, there is a bar that serves food. The food's really good. And there's a big garage door made out of glass. On cold days, you look right out. On nice days, they open that garage door and you look right out onto the field. Very cool. So if you're thinking, well, it's a nice place to go for lunch right now, 10-minute walk, hello. 10-minute walk, you can get down to Fenway Park and you can check out the Bleacher Bar if you'd like. The closest stop is our next stop, which is stop number 9. So we're going to go up here, take a left on the Boylston Street, and then we'll pull up in front of the Hilton Hotel. That will be the stop for Fenway Park. Yeah, it's very easy to get to Fenway, folks. If you walk down Boylston Street, head westbound on Boylston, and then you take a right onto Ipswich Street, Ipswich will bring you right out to Fenway Park. If you want to check out the Bleacher Bar, it's located on Lansdowne Street. Very easy to get to. Now we're going to check in at stop 9 because there is a fundraising event going on today, the Jimmy Fund Walk. And the Jimmy Fund Walk is occupying a good portion of Copley Square. I was told before we left stop 1 that stop number 11 was not available to us. And we're going to check in when we get to stop 9 to see if 11 or 12 will be open to us today. So stay tuned, as they say. We'll give you some more details in just a couple minutes. If you want to step down and go to the Prudential Building, stop number 9 is the stop view. The Prudential, the second tallest building in the city, 52 stories tall. The observation room is way up on the 50th floor. probably see today about 100 miles from the top of this building. It's really great. And you're going to see a preview of the Prudential building here in just a minute as soon as the traffic moves up. You look to your left and you'll see a giant building there that looks sort of like an old-fashioned cheese grater. That's what I think anyways. Yeah, but opened in 1965, and at that point in time it was the tallest building in Boston. See it from here? So you left front, it says Prudential right at the top. Now, there's a restaurant up on the 52nd floor. It's called the Top of the Hut. They do a wonderful Sunday brunch up there if you're so inclined. But you know what you can do if you want? You can go to the Top of the Hut and you can sit at the bar and have a cocktail and get that fantastic view without having to sit down and get a whole dinner if you don't want to. So that'll be stop 9. Now the Boston Marathon, years and years ago, 30 years ago, used to end right in front of the Prudential building. Back in those days, the Boston Marathon was not a race that they ran, the runners, because they wanted to get paid. They ran it for the prestige of it. Boston Marathon years ago never gave out prize money. Well, they decided about 30 years ago or so they wanted to attract world-class athletes. To do that, they need to give out some money. And a local company stepped up and said, we'll be happy to give you $2 million for your race. But you're going to have to move the finish line away from our competitor. Yes, John Hancock Insurance Company stepped forward. So, as they say, money talks, right? The finish line was moved 0.2 miles down the road. Coincidentally, closer to what? The Hancock building down in Copley Square. The Hancock's down to your left, the glass building there. That's the tallest building in Boston. That's 62 stories. Hold on as we take the turn here, folks. Berklee College of Music on your right, largest independent music college in the nation. It is known as having one of the highest international student population. Lots of famous graduates have come out of Berklee College of Music: Quincy Jones, Bruce Hornsby, Pat Metheny, Paula Cole, just to name a few. Yeah. And if you look to your left front, you're going to see a little building with a black and white sign, and there's an American flag hanging over the front entrance of it. I call this says Dylan's Restaurant and Bar. I call it the biggest missed opportunity in the city of Boston. And I say that because on the front side of the building, up in the granite, is written some words, and it says Boston Police Department Division 16. Used to be a police precinct, yeah. They made it into a restaurant, and I say it's a missed opportunity. Don't you think it would have been better as a Dunkin' Donuts? Could you see it? Police Department, Dunkin' Donuts. I know, like we need another Dunkin' Donuts. I know what you're thinking, right? Yeah. We're all addicted to this. That's why there's so many Dunkin' Donuts around here. We love their coffee. The first one opened right outside of Boston in 1850. Yeah, so take a look to your left. It says Dylan's, and then above it says Police Department. Yeah. And we're going to make a right turn and head down to stop number 9. If you want to go to Fenway Park, this would be the stop. Want to do the Prudential Center, the Skywalk, or the Top of the Hut restaurant, this would be your stop number 9. Just wait till I come to a complete stop, folks. Wait till the doors open. Alrighty, stop number 9 on the Old Town Trolley. Folks stepping out. This is the biggest hotel in the city, 1,236 rooms. Yeah. And in 1985, Boston University, hold on, there's some guests I think coming our way. Hello.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. How you doing today? I don't need all of that. I'm gonna take a piece of it from you. And that's your reboarding pass.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're at stop number 9 on the trolley tour right now, okay?
Yep.
Welcome on board. My name's Welby. We'll leave stop 9 on the green line, make our way over to stop 10. Stop 11 and 12 are questionable right now. I'm still waiting to hear back from dispatch. We did have some detours up ahead, so I'll let you know. A couple of safety rules for you folks. Please stay seated, keep everything inside the trolley, no smoking on board. And also remember, as a courtesy to everybody else, it's a narrated tour. So if you need to talk, just try to whisper. If you have a cell phone, we ask you do not use it. So the Sheraton Hotel was just saying in 1985, Boston